Great. So just like yesterday, some of the questions are even the same questions, so you know them already. It's not a test. I'm not checking what you knew about the class, okay? Nothing like that. I just want to hear what you have to say. Okay, that's the idea. I will go more in depth about the things you studied in the class, but I'll help you. I'll guide you through that, okay? Because I took down notes, and then I'll tell you this is what you studied, and I want to hear what you have to say about that. Okay? So, like I said, it's not a test. So let's start in the beginning. If you remember, Ms. Severino, she started with like a discussion. Remember, like, what is a solution?
Yeah.
And then different students said what they wrote in homework. I think that was right. Did you have a homework assignment for today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember what it was?
I didn't get to finish because I didn't understand, but I asked about it today, and she said I'll handle it.
Okay. And you remember, she opened up. She said, "Okay, so what's the solution?" And the different students gave their own opinion, right?
Oh yeah.
Right? And the beginning of the lesson. Like the start, the first 5 minutes. Remember that? Kinda?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that part of the lesson? Was it good? Was it bad?
It was good.
Why?
Because it made us think, like what would we do if we were in that situation?
What do you think you would do? What's your answer?
I wouldn't part it. Like I wouldn't make a partition.
Yeah, you like the idea?
I don't like it.
You don't like the idea of partition?
I wouldn't.
Why not?
Because everybody should be equal.
Okay. But what about the
and
people?
they could share the place. You wouldn't just want one race and one place.
And what about the people who gave the answer that, look, we tried to live together, it didn't work out. They've gone on fighting and fighting and fighting. Does that change the way you look at it?
No, because, like, I don't know. I still think everybody should just be friends.
Okay.
Because at first, the blacks and the whites didn't get along, and now look, they're all living together.
Okay, so even though you have your opinion, you heard the other opinions, but you feel you're stronger with your own opinion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, why do you think, right after that, we went on to look at the PowerPoint, right, remember? But why do you think she started with the discussion? Like, why was that important at all?
So we can hear everybody's opinion, and, like, maybe think about it again, and you might change your opinion and how you feel.
Yeah, so I think it's a good thing
Yeah.
to have that? Okay. Good. So what we'll do now, we'll go to the lesson itself. Okay, and like I said, I'll tell you like different points in the lesson. I want to hear what you have to say about it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start really with the PowerPoint, right? There was a lot of information going on there, right? A lot of names, a lot of numbers, a lot of organizations, maps, stuff like that. What do you think about that?
I think it's good. So we can copy down the key points.
Yeah.
So when we have like tests, we just go back and read the key points.
And you think you remember them? Do you think do they get into your head?
Yeah, if I studied again.
Yeah. And it would be better to do it without PowerPoint maybe, or was it a good
I think it's better with the PowerPoint.
Why is that?
Because, like, it's better than hearing her read the notes aloud. Not everybody's good with that.
Okay. Why not? What, you probably have teachers like that too, right? That just read out notes. What isn't good about that? Why don't people get along
Because
with
not everybody gets all of it, and then, like, when you look in to read your notes, you don't really have everything, and then you're not going to do very well on the test.
Okay.
But on PowerPoint, we get to read it and write it, and then we also hear her say it out loud, so we understand it better.
Okay. And now let's go back to the PowerPoint. Do you remember what was on there in the PowerPoint? Like what different methods she used?
Yeah.
Like what was on there? You remember
She showed the map.
Okay. Were the maps good? Do you like that?
Yeah.
Why are the maps good? Why does that make you understand better when you see the maps?
Because it like shows us how much land, how big the country is, the place, like how big Israel was.
How big or how small?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, remember she said like, hey, where is it? We can't even find it.
It was big at first, and then they gave the land up.
Okay. What else besides the maps? What else was there?
The cartoons.
Yeah. What do you think about those?
It was good.
Yeah. Why?
Because it was just good.
Isn't it kind of, it's a cartoon. Why it's not, it's sort of studied
like,
seriously here, so why is that?
It like explained what was going on in a funny way.
Okay.
Kind of.
Was it hard to understand?
Not really.
You said it explained, that's true, it explains something. But some people might find
explains it quickly.
Yeah, you saw the cartoon and you understood what was going on? Do you think that was right for everybody, or there were some people that said, hey, I don't really understand what's the connection of the cartoon to...
I don't know, I didn't ask everybody.
Okay, but you think that, but you understood it?
Yeah.
Now, do you remember the part when she told you to write a title for a cartoon?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That was nice.
Yeah. What was
Yeah.
your title? Do you remember?
Oh, the extremists ruined the peace.
Yeah, remember with the hands? That was.
Yeah.
And why do you think? Why that title? Why does that?
Because every time like they'll make an agreement, the two groups would start to agree with each other and get along. The extremists would come and assassinate.
Okay. There was another part when she talked about, you probably remember this, when she talked about her boyfriend who was Israeli. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about hearing about Mr. Severino's boyfriend? Wasn't that weird?
No.
Oh, okay.
It gave us a perspective, like it's really happening and how people really feel about it and how it's affecting their lives.
So you have that personal.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay, so we had those. Another part, we saw a clip, a movie clip. Remember? A short one.
Yeah.
And I saw, when I was here last week too, I saw that Miss Severino, she uses that a lot. She shows you movie clips. Do you like that part?
Mm-hmm.
Where she uses clips? Why?
Because usually it's like documentaries on people, and it helps us like get into their shoes and know how they feel and what they had to go through.
But she can also explain that to you. You know, she just talk about it. So why do you have to see a movie clip to understand, to get into someone's shoes?
To hear the people talk, like
Oh, so you
the
actually
people, yeah.
And why is that important? To see him actually talk? Or why do you like that?
I don't know. I think like it helps me understand like their perspective better.
Okay. So do you remember the clip we saw this time? She talked about, it was about the Palestinians.
Yeah.
And there was the Olympic thing, remember that?
Oh yeah.
That was the clip we saw.
Yeah.
So did it help you understand?
They gave a lot of key points and you just quickly take notes.
What do you remember? What it helped you understand about this, the whole Israeli-Palestinian conflict? Watching the clip, like how did it help you?
It was kind of like the same thing she showed on a PowerPoint, but they were just saying it over and they were like giving numbers and stuff, like how many athletes were kept as hostages and killed.
But why do you think it's important to study about the athletes that were killed when we're studying about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
Because they're involved in it.
So it's the way they're.
Yeah.
Okay. Also in the clip, there was a phrase, OPIC, and then Ms. Severino, remember she stopped and said, "Do you remember what OPIC is?" And then she explained that. Was that good, like to kind of stop the video all of a sudden?
Yeah, that was good because not everybody heard everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does she do that a lot? When she stops the clips and asks you questions about it?
Yeah.
And doesn't that bother you watching the clip? Like, stop pestering me with these questions.
No.
I want to just watch. No, it's good. Why?
Yeah.
Why does that?
Because like sometimes she gives the paper and we have to answer the questions.
Yeah.
And then, or usually she stops at the end and there's like 10 minutes left and we answer the question. I think it's good because like we can read over what we wrote notes.
Oh, so it helps you go over them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And add things that we didn't have before.
So it does add more information as well. Okay. Another thing, towards the end she talked about the Oslo Accord, and then she said, do you remember what accord is? Like the word accord, which is, remember, it's like an agreement?
Yeah.
And she kind of defined that word for you. Does that happen a lot? That she uses a word that you don't even know what it means?
Not really. There's usually like one word every 2 classes that we don't understand.
And did you know the word accord before, or did you have to have it?
I didn't really know what it meant.
So it's
I
good
heard
that
it before, yeah.
So it's good that she stopped.
Yeah. Because on the regions, there's going to be a lot of words that we're not going to understand.
But now how the way she explained it, was that good? Do you think you remember the word now?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you think you can use it like when you're going with your friends, when you use that word?
Maybe.
Yeah. Could she have taught it better, in a better manner, that make you kind of really remember it in a good way?
No, because she did use like bigger words that we'd understand to define it. She just used one word.
Okay. So she used it, you write it down, that's enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to forget it?
No.
Okay. That's good. I think I asked you yesterday as well, do you think that what we studied today, did it connect to other things you studied, not only in these 2 days, but just in general in this course?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like other conflicts that happen in other countries and how...
Like where, remember what?
Africa, the U.S.
And how are they connected? Like how are they the same? These different conflicts between countries? How is Africa like Israel and Palestine?
Because in Africa, 2 tribes, they didn't like get along. And they were fighting for power,
Yeah. And that's the same thing that happened here, do you think?
Not really. but it's kind of like the same thing because they're both fighting for something to keep the land, power.
And that happens in different places around the globe? Okay. And is that good for you, or does it make you confused? The mix between different areas?
It's good for me because it helps me go reflect back on what I learned before to remember.
So even though you're studying about Palestine and Israel, it's good to go back to Africa or India all of a sudden because you feel that it reflects? Okay. Do you think all students like it, or they might get confused out of that?
I think that it's good for all students to go back and reflect on what they learned before.
Okay, good. Okay. How about at the end of the lesson, the way she summed it all up? She said, okay, so she went back to the question, what's the solution? And she also talked about life here in New York. You remember that?
Yeah.
What did she, do you remember what she said about New York? Like, why is New York, why can living here in New York be helpful for the Middle East, for Israel and Palestine?
It helped my opinion because that's how I feel. Like, they should just get along, like the people in the U.S.
Exactly. And do you think is that an option? Do you think that they can learn from you back there in Israel and Palestine how to get along? You don't think so? Why not?
I don't know. I don't think that they're just going to look at the U.S. and say, let's be like them.
You don't think that people will act that way? No. Because why?
Because they don't want to be like the U.S., maybe.
Because she was saying that here in New York, you have different races, different people, and everyone, people live in peace, more or less. So we can export that to other places in the world. So you're saying that probably won't happen?
Yeah.
Because, why not?
Because they hate each other so much. Like, they're not just going to say, oh, look at the U.S., let's be like them. And then just change ways. They can't do that so fast.
Do you think, when you look, you say they hate each other so much, do you think you identify more with one side than with the other, like with Israelis and Palestinians? Do you feel more connection to one side more over the other? Do you think one is more right, more just?
I think they're both right, and then they're both wrong.
Okay, they're both wrong. Why is that?
Yeah, because
It just seemed to you that they're both...
I think they're both equal, and they should just share the place.
Okay.
And they shouldn't split it up. Because generation after generation, they're just going to keep hating each other, and nothing's going to change.
Okay.
So, going back to the lessons today.
Okay, so I'll finish with the lessons now. I'll just have general questions about yesterday and today, just the whole unit as a unit and what you think about it. Okay? Where it's kind of hard, but I think what you knew about Israel and Palestine before we started studying and compared to what you know now, did these two lessons help you?
Yeah.
In which way?
Because I really didn't know about Israel and Palestine until yesterday.
Really? What did you know? Or...
I didn't really know anything.
Okay, so it was totally new for you?
Yeah, kind of.
And now do you feel that you do know?
Yeah.
And why is that important?
So you could know about what's going on around you. Because not only about where you live, you should know about the whole world.
Do you think there's a connection though? Do you think it influences the United States? Does it influence your life in any way, what goes on over there? Or?
Yeah, it does in a way, because maybe the U.S. might go help them.
Yeah.
And then one of them might turn against the U.S. and they could harm the U.S. in a way.
Okay, so it's important to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you feel that these two lessons, this unit helped you get that knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do you have anything that's still, after these two lessons, that still you feel that you don't understand, that's still kind of open, kind of blurry for you in your brain and you want to learn more?
About Israel and Palestine?
About Israel and Palestine, yeah. Do you think any additional issues you would like to?
Not really.
If I say you walk down the street and you meet an Israeli all of a sudden, or you would meet a Palestinian, would you have questions to ask him or her?
Yeah, kind of.
What would you ask her?
Like, if they're from the Israel and Palestine?
Yeah, Israel.
Like how they feel and what they had to go through, and if they were involved in any in violence towards each other.
Okay. So you do have questions. You would like to ask more about the personal experience they had. That's what you're saying, right? Okay. Was there anything difficult or confusing in these two lessons? Things that you feel you don't understand? You feel it's always pretty clear. Okay. Any part, to kind of reflect back to the two lessons, which part was your favorite part? Which part do you think was the most clear for you?
Um,
The most helpful to understand.
yesterday, yeah, in the beginning.
What do you remember? What do you have there?
With the Jews and like why they're doing what they're and today too, like why they're doing and how the Holocaust had to do with the Jews coming.
So the whole, if I could, like the background.
Yeah.
You felt that you needed that because you said after the 2 lessons you feel that you know now. You
Yeah.
understand. So why is it that you know now? What did Miss Severino do that made you know?
Like she started off with the beginning and then like how it all started and who owned what. And then she just started to reflect on other world events with the Jews, like the Holocaust, and how it had to do with that, and why they came back to get their land.
Okay, so you like that? Okay, okay, good. If they, for next year, would you recommend students to go and study with Miss Severino this unit?
Huh?
Would you recommend students to come and study with her?
Yeah.
Do you think, like the school asked you, do you think Miss Severino should teach this course next year? Would you say yes? And why?
She's a good teacher. Like she explains things thoroughly.
What else? Why? What other reasons is it that she's a good teacher?
And she makes it fun. Like she doesn't just sit there and just read things and just give us tons of homework stuff.
And why is that important to make it fun? Why?
So we can enjoy it and not just think, oh, we just need to do this to pass.
And what do you think? When I think about the 2 lessons that we saw, what was fun about them? What did she do in these 2 lessons that made it fun?
Like she made us want to learn. She made us interested in the subject and want to know what's going on in those 2 places.
But how did she do that? Like how was she different than other teachers you have? Because all teachers want you to learn, right?
She let us watch a movie, and then I was curious about like yesterday I was curious about what the people were going through.
So the movie she showed you felt that made you more curious and want to learn more about it.
Mhm.
Anything else? In the way she teaches that you think, like compare her to different teachers you have. What makes her special? What makes her?
She uses PowerPoint a lot.
And why is that good?
Because it helps us with the notes and then the cartoons too. It also makes it like fun and interesting.
Okay. So just in general, kind of to sum up the whole unit, the whole 2 lessons, what do you think about it in a couple of words? Good, bad, boring?
It was good.
Good. Why?
Because I learned a lot in the end. Like a lot to remember, not just to say, oh, I'm just going to do this so I can pass and I'm going to graduate high school.
Yeah. So you're not going to forget it after the test?
No.
Do you think you're going to remember this stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
most of it.
Okay. Would you change anything about these 2 lessons?
Huh?
Would you change anything?
No,
Or any part that you felt that she should have done differently to make it more clear?
not really.
Yeah, I think it was perfect. I think it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? I'm finished with my questions. Do you have anything else you want to say about the 2 units, about the lessons that we didn't talk about, that you think is important? And just in general, like I told you yesterday, this is going to go to new teachers when they're studying to become teachers. So if you have anything you want to tell them, how to be a good teacher like Miss Severino.
She's friendly, like with the students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's important for you. You think that makes her a good teacher?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else she does? Okay.
No.